Good morning. My name is Tammy, and I'd like to welcome you to Tammis Stitches. Greetings from Maine, everybody. This is my small little corner of Berwick, Maine, where I discuss, my love of cross stitch, like everybody else has, and my other crafting endeavors, and a little bit of life thrown in. Sometimes books, sometimes whatever I can get my crafty little fingers on. Today is Friday, January 30th, 2026, and this is FlossTube 127. So, let's get started, shall we? I don't have any finishes or FFOs. I did have a couple of starts, though. So, not feeling all that great today. My husband was kind enough to come home with a cold, and he decided that it was a good idea to give it to me. So yeah, I'm a little upset with him right at the moment. Alright. Alright. I started this Winter Owl from Goffin Designs. I started this on January 24th, 2026. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Misty Surf from Dying for Cross Stitch, and I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is 2,000. I have completed 218, and I have 1,782 left to go to complete my goal. And he's a very cute little owl. And here he is. Okay. As you can see, I have worked on his scarf and his body. So, there's that. I did quite a few this weekend. I don't know what get into me on this weekend, but I was trying to do a lot of evening. Like instead of 17,000 or 1,782, I would do enough to bring it up to like 18,000. Okay. Since these are both in the same bag, I'm going to show you the spring owl, which I also worked on. And I got 200 stitches on this one. This is my spring owl. She's very pretty and pink. Yes, there's also, excuse me, a autumn and spring, summer. So I started this on October 29th, 2024. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Lucky Ada, and my goal is 2,000. I have completed 1,002 stitches. And I have 998 left before I get the goal. And here she is. I don't normally park threads, but I didn't want to. There was too much to cut off and throw away. So you can see her face. She's got a very beautiful face. I finished her bow. and now I'm working on her body and her necklace. And she looks very nice on this fabric. So I got 200 stitches done on that one. I have come to the conclusion, please hold. Okay, I just wanted to turn the light on. I have come to the conclusion is that I am going to go through, hold please again. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I've come to the conclusion that what I'm going to do this year is I am going to continue with my no-go, but I'm going to do it instead of, I'm just going to pick one and do that one, and then pick another one and do that one. I'm not spinning for anything. I'm not planning anything out, because then I get bored and I don't want to do it. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all my whips, and I'm going to try to even them out, which means I want to get them to, like, if it's 470, I want to get them to 500. If it's, I don't know, 2,640, then I'm going to put 360 stitches in to get it to 3,000. And the only reason why I know that number is because that's the one I'm working on today. So yeah, I want to get all my whips up to an even number, and I want to get them closer, as close as I possibly can to their goals before I put them away and go on to the next set. So that's that one. Alright, next one is this one. Now this one, I am not putting it away. That's all there is to it. I'm just not doing it because I'm finding out more and more every day that I absolutely love this one, and I really want to get it done. So just have to find the picture. Like I said, I'm sorry if I pause because of sneezing fits or coughing or whatever, but I think the cold weather that we've been having, like, it's only like maybe 14 degrees here today. That is cold. It is. Ugh. But this is spooky season, and I completed 300 stitches on this one. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah. I have all the teal colors completed for the pumpkin. And I started this one on October 9th, 2025. This is from Lukovka on Etsy. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Forbidden Fiber Company Fabric of the Month. I don't know what the color is. And I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 5,000 stitches. Out of 11,374 stitches, I have completed 1,900. And I am at 16.70%. So here's where we are. I have finished the pumpkin color, or the pumpkin stripe, so all the teal colors are complete. Now I'm working on the scarecrow. I'm not filling in like the pumpkin or the scarecrow until I get all the strips complete, so I will probably work on this again Like maybe this weekend. I don't know. I had a really good stitchy weekend this past weekend, but then again, I didn't have to go anywhere. I got everything done on Friday, so I am not doing that again because this past Friday going to the grocery store was a disaster, and I was not impressed. So because they had the big there was playoffs, football playoffs this past weekend, plus there was snow, so there are people getting stuff for each. I'm not doing that again. No way. I do have to go to the grocery store tomorrow, but you know what? I think I'm just gonna run up the street and go there first thing in the morning and call it a day. So that's what I'm gonna do there. Okay, next one. Okay, I worked on this one. This is Sophie's sheep. This is a fight to the finish for this year, I think. I don't know if I put it on my thing or not. And I put in 296 stitches, and the reason I put in so many was because I wanted to even it up. So this is Sophie's sheep. I started this on April 15th, 2025. It's from Plum Street Samplers. I'm stitching this on a 18 count Havisham, and I'm using the called for DMC. I'm just using DMC because the called for is actually gentle arts, and I'm not doing that. So, to get to my goal is to finish it. So I have completed 1,100 stitches, and to get to that, I had to even that out. I had to do 286, and here we are. So I have to finish the P and put established in 1881, I believe it is, and then fill in the sheep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the sheep, work on the P. Fill in the sheep, work on the established. Fill in the sheep, 1881. Fill in the little box after I do some more filling into the sheep. Because I'm not sure, there might have been a error, but I'm not 100% sure. And then hopefully while I'm still filling in the sheep, I can work on the flower that comes down this way. And then I should be done, and that would be a wonderful thing. So to get this to, I think the next time I do this, I'm just going to put in a straight 300, and that way it gets it to 1,400. So this is going to go back into my little storage container, and put it in there. Let me just check one thing first. No, Sophie's sheep is not on my finishes. But you know what, that's okay. If I don't get all the ones on my list done, then at least I'll have a couple extra that I didn't have before. Okay. So the next one is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studios. And here it is. Terrible picture, I know, but the best one we're gonna get. So, I decided to even this one up too. So this is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studios. I restarted this on September 23rd, 2025. I'm stitching on a 20-count pumpkin Ada from Fiber on a Whim. I'm using the called for fancy floss. My goal is 3,000. So far I've completed 700. And in order to get that number, I had to do 226 stitches. And I love this fabric. Fiber on a Whim is a very nice fabric. It's not as nice as To Dye For Fabrics, but you know what? To Dye For Fabrics doesn't have 20 count, and I like 20 count. So here we are. I got part of this, finished this part here. I put in this little purple motif, and then I'm working on this one. I'm taking a break from this one, but I'm working on this one. So the next time I get this out, I want to get at least 1,000 stitches done on it. So I'm thinking I might take a break on this. I don't know, because the motifs are huge. I don't know. We'll see. I might keep it in there. Okay. So, Halloween Quaker, I evened it out by doing 226 stitches on that one. Okay. Next one is... Aha. No. Is that it? Put it back here, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm in. Alright, the next one I worked on was the Halloween Bat. And this is from Celtic Rose cross stitch on Etsy. And I have a few of hers. I have a few of hers, which I absolutely love. I love her stuff. And as far as I know, not that it matters, but as far as I know, I don't know if she does AI or not. As far as I know, she doesn't. But I'm not, I don't care. Like I said, if I see something and I like it, you know, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna do it, and, you know, if it's AI, then it's AI. I mean, I love Zayna Crosswell on Etsy, and, she even subscribed to my channel, but that doesn't mean I have to stitch her stuff if I don't want to, but I do have a lot of hers because I like them. They're very clear, they're very clean, it doesn't look like there's any mistakes, so, not from what I've seen anyway. So, but anyway, this is the Halloween Bat. He's very, very cute. I like him. So in order to even him up, I needed to get 277 stitches, which I did. So, this one I had started for my wrestling roundup because I needed something a little odd, creepy, you know, not that he's all that creepy, he's kind of cute, but you know what I mean. So I started this on September 9th, 2025. I'm using a 20 count Easy Guide Ada. I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 5,000. And out of 38,416 stitches, I have completed 900. And I'm at 2.34%. So the next time I get this out, I'm gonna round it up again and get it to an even number. So here we are. And I started on the tree limb. So, I'm very thrilled with how much I got done. I didn't really want to put this down, but in order for me to do as much as I did this weekend and this week, I kind of had to put them down. So, I'm going to keep him out. So that's that one. Okay, next one is a new start. And this is called, or I'm calling it, Witch in the Woods. And it is from Cloak. And as far as I know, this one's not AI either, but it's a small full coverage, and I like the little witch just floating around or flying around. It's got very minimal colors. I think there's only like maybe 15, but I like it. And I started this this is Witch in the Woods by Cloak. I started this on January 28th, 2026. And I worked on it quite a bit yesterday too. I'm stitching this on a 20 count Easy Guide Ada. I'm using the code for DMC. My goal is 5,000. Out of 40,000 stitches, I have completed 600, and I am at 1.50%. I mean 600, sorry. And like I said, I'm not one for parking, but these ones are going straight down. So that's how much I got done. And I love this one. I was very adamant about starting this one. So, started this Wednesday afternoon. And I got about 200 stitches done. So, I wanted to get a good section. So, that's why I worked on it yesterday. This is also going to stay in my bag, my container down here. Okay, there's that. And then nope. This one unfortunately is paper, but that's okay. This is also from Cloak. It's called Witch's Brew. And this led to the Witch in the Woods being started. This is Witch's Brew by Cloak. I started this on January 27th, 2026. I'm using a 20 count Easy Guide Ada, using the call for floss. My goal is 5,000. I'm pretty sure that this is also a 40,000 one. I don't know. I have completed 200, so I have 4,800 stitches left to complete my goal. And we're just using the one color right now, because that's all there is. We're doing background, and this is 823. So I am going to finish up 2 more here and probably go down 4. So I'll have at least 600 done on this side. I've got 5 going this way, but I'm going to add another one. And then when I get 6 down, I'll get 6 across. So there it is. And I'm doing this 200 at a time. I guess if you watch, I don't even know if I've ever watched her, but I guess if you watch Stitching Mommy on FlossTube, that's how she does her full coverages. She does a 10 by 10 square, and then 10 by 10 square, 10 by 10 square, and fills it all in, so there's no ninja stitches, which I think is a good idea, but I really don't like parking, so I don't know, we'll see. This one I think I'm going to put off to the side for a little bit. So those were my new starts, and then I worked on, oh, okay, what that is what I'm looking for, yes. And then I decided that I wanted to work on Drink Up Witches. And that is from Cloak as well. As you can tell, I really like Cloak. They are on Etsy. So here's this Drink Up Witches. There's just something about this. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, add to cart. I like it. So I started this on October 26th, 2025, using a 25 easy count 1/1 on this one. I'm using Call for DMC, and my goal is 5,000. Out of 40,000 stitches, I've completed 610, and I am at 1.52. And I don't know if I've evened this one up, but I think I did, because it says I got 201 stitches. So I probably did. And here we are. Isn't it cute? So I need to get another 90 stitches in order to do what I need to do. That. This one I think I'm going to work on again. I'm not sure what my letter is going to be for the month of February, but we might find out today. Yay! Alright, the next one I worked on. I said I worked on quite a bit. Here's my little friend, the witchy frog. Too cute. Too cute. I got 210 stitches in my little witchy frog. And this is also from Cloak. I started this on January 4th, 2026. I'm stitching it on a 20 count Easy Guide Ada, and I'm using the colorful colors. My goal is 5,000. There's 41,209 stitches, and I am at 620. I've completed 620, and I am at 1.50%. Here we are. Look at that. Believe it or not, that is all background. I haven't gotten anywhere near the frog. That is my ultimate goal. Let's get to the frog. But it's going to take me a little bit. So yeah. He's going to go back. in my thing. So, witchy frog. Okay, now, Siski posted an update. I have to work on Alice and the Flamingo. And, I owe Celtic Owl, like, I think, 600 stitches, if not more. I don't know. And I owe the Cheshire Cat some. No, I'll get there. Sorry. But since Laura Stitching by the Shore does every week, I try to get her. Keep caught up on that one. Is it? Yes. So hers is 4 Seasons Spring. And I actually do have a picture, and I did have one last week that I printed out, but didn't realize I did. And here it is. This is 4 Seasons Spring by Soda Stitch. It's very cute. Very cute. And I got 220 stitches done on this one. Oops. This is 4 Seasons Spring. I started this on July 12th, 2025. And I am doing this on an 18 count jade pictures plus. And I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 2,500. There is 5,837 stitches in this, and I've done 730. And I am at 12.51%. So in order to even this out, I have to get an extra 70 stitches. So there we are. And she will have another update tomorrow. So I will be working on this next week. When I work on it, I don't know, but I will work on it. I think I'm going to get some of my Celtic Owl done first. Because I think, if I remember correctly, Kay has done like 3 updates. Not updates, but Stitch With Me's since the beginning of January. So, alright, next one. Oh, Nevermore sampler. Oh. Well, I left that one out in the living room, so. But I did do it. I got 200 stitches. I'll show it next week. Halloween Quaker. Yes, I did that one already. Alright, last one that I did was a bear and owl from Nara X-Stitch. And I needed to even this one out too. So, where are you? Oh, right there. This is the bear and the owl. Very cute. I'm working on the birds here. So, they were 205 stitches. And I evened it to 400 by doing 195. So I started this on December 31st, 2025. Oh, stop. And I'm stitching this on an 18 count. Rewind. I'm stitching this on a 16 count white Ada, and I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 2,500. There's 5,770 stitches, and I've completed 400, and I am at 6.93%. Now, considering that tomorrow is January 31st, I might be pulling this out again to work on it for a little bit. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish up the bird. But what I did was I added this. I added these little lines here, put in the green, and this is part of a wing. So, we'll see. Anyway, and I might also work on my deer and owl. We'll see. I don't know. But that's that one. So that is everything that I worked on. So I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 whips. Actually, that's not bad. So, what do I have a stash enhancements? No. I did get some thread in. That was it. I'm going to attempt to try floss for the first time. Because I hate stitching on white, or I hate stitching white, so I figured I'd try the floss. Maybe I can see it a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. Not much. I haven't really been buying anything. I mean, I have bought a pattern here and there, but on Etsy, but nothing major. So, plans / goals. 200 stitches on hair and out. Now, usually when I write this down, I really don't want to do it, but this one I might. What I'm working on right now is QS Huggable. I'm trying to get a lot of fill-in done, and I need 360 stitches to make it to 3,000. So 360 on Huggable. And lucky for me, in that one there's a lot of block stitching. Now on Sunday it is February 1st. So I think I have a new book going, and it just has my full coverages in it. Just a few, not a lot. I'm going to try to work on my full coverages in the month of February to even them up. And what I mean by even them up is, like, one of them I think has 2,787 stitches, and I want to get to 3,000. So I want to get the 3,000 in, or get it up to 3,000. That is the goal for the month of February. If that happens, awesome. If not, yeah. As far as my gnome go is concerned, I'm just going to pick a couple because I have them all separated out. I'm just going to pick one or two and work on that. Plus, I want to try to get another 200 stitches in my chamomile and get the 400 stitches in my St. Patrick's. So we will see. Alright, and then for my letters, I'm not going to be working on the letter H. So, those of you who have watched me for a long time know about my little box of letters here. And I'm going to pick one. And everything, I'm going to work on a lot of my whips that start with the letter S. Here's my letter S. And, like spooky season, like Sophie's Sheep, like, for anything spring, anything summer, You know what I mean? If you have fancy ladies that start with a letter S. Skeleton gnome. There we go. There's a gnome I can work on. And then on the 17th of, yeah, I think it's the 17th of February is the Lunar New Year. I am, and the 2026 is the year of the horse. And you're like, well, Tim, you didn't do last year. Well, there's a very good reason why I didn't do last year. I don't do snakes. I can't stand snakes. They gross me out. They scare the crap out of me, and I really want nothing to do with them. But this is from Favorite Gnome on Etsy, or Cute Embroidery, and it is the fold. It's a fold, or fold, and this will be for 2026, the year of the horse. I did start the year of the dragon, but the one I picked was terrible, so but yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'll start this on, I think it's February 17th. I'll have to double check that. But, yep. There is a couple other things that I'd like to start with us, I think. This is by Nara. This is by Nara X-Stitch, and it's called Soft Awakening. And yes, I do have fancy ladies, as a matter of speaking. Not the traditional fancy ladies like Nora Corbett or Mirabilia, but do have some. And then there's a few others. This might take me a little bit to find them. Oh, I guess I didn't have as many as I thought I did. You know. There are a few things I need to restart, or I want to restart, like my Frank's Monster. Because I don't know what happened with that, and I need to figure that out. I thought I had one of those grumpy French dragons named Summer, but I guess not. Nope. Oh well. That's okay. Pretty sure one will come out in the near future. I might start this one. This is from FlossTube, and it's the stained glass bead, and I really like the shape. But I also have my stained glass bead that I need to work on. But I like this one because of the shape. And I have some 20 count and 18 count white that I could probably put this on. A lot softer than what I got for the winter cometh. And I know I still have to work on that. I didn't work on that this week. My hands just weren't up to it. Tuesday I ended up shoveling a little bit of the driveway. It's been too cold to take the dog for a walk, so we've been going outside and running around. Yesterday I had to think of this one I definitely want to do. This is called the Squirrel Silhouette, and I do believe this is by Sydney Eaton, but those are just a few. So letter S. So if I get some letter S's done, cool. If I don't, no. But my goal for this year, other than the gnome thing, is for me to even up my full coverages and my non-full coverages. We're just going to work on, February is going to be working on full coverages all month, and that's only 28 days, so it's going to be a different one all the time. So we'll see some progress in my full coverages, which means progress is good. And some I haven't touched in a while, so really need to do that. I also need to work on Alice and the Flamingo. I want to work on Alice and the Flamingo and the Cheshire Cat for Sisky Stitches and the Matt's Color Stitcher. So that the reason I'm working on Alice for Sisky Stitches is because she has this whip that I haven't seen in a while, but that's okay. It's beautiful, and I don't like pink, but I like this one because it being on black fabric, it looks gorgeous. Is Flamingo Fantastico, and it is gorgeous. It really is. The flowers on it just pop. You know, whenever she does work on it and she does show it, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And the reason that I picked the Cheshire Cat for Miss Pagati, from Miss Pagati for Anne, the Max Color Stitcher, is because she does all full coverage. And they are max color, sometimes they're supersized, you know, the whole bit. And I love her stuff, and she has cats. So a lot of hers, like Sisky's, she and Sisky have a couple of the same whips. But I think they both have cats with flowers. It's a full coverage, but I really don't know. I was thinking 360 degrees of cats and dogs, but I don't think Anne has that one. So, Sisky has kind of inspired me a little bit to get an Amy Stewart. But if I get an Amy Stewart, I'm getting a mini, because I can't. They're way too big for me, and I think the minis are even huge. But yeah, because I've seen her, the animal one with the shelves that Sisky's doing and hoping to get done by her 25th wedding anniversary. She's also doing, I want to say, Night at the Circus for her youngest son. Is it Amy Stewart? And Coloring Book Afternoon for her daughter. is also a name store. Her oldest son is getting a Randall Spangler, which I love the dragons. I have a couple of them. In fact, I'm working on one today. So, other than that, like, my daughter is finished with her driving school. She just has to do a couple driving lessons with her instructor, and then her play starts next Thursday. We are going on Friday. We are probably the only ones from either family going. Well, whatever. And like I said, my husband's sick. Ever since we got buried, I mean, I swear we got more than a foot of snow. Because it started Sunday afternoon, and it was coming down at a pretty good clip. They canceled school for Monday, and then on Sunday afternoon. And my husband didn't go to work on Monday. I knew that was going to happen. There was no way he was going to go and leave, and it wasn't going to happen. So he spent most of the day outside on Monday, cleaning up. And Monday afternoon it started again. He went out there again about 4:30 and maybe 4 o'clock, I don't remember which. And even though it was still snowing, he still snowblowed the driveway and whatnot. So it's been like, okay. So Tuesday morning, they had a 2-hour delay. So we have figured out the bus, so we know when to go out, so we don't miss it. So yeah, so we got on the bus, did our thing, and then I went out Tuesday morning at some point, and I shoveled a good section. I shoveled off the patio to a point. I don't shovel a lot, but I shoveled from where my husband parks to the front of the truck. So it was a pretty good size chunk of driveway that I shoveled by myself. And Patches was out there, and I got her to run around a little bit, and then she sat on the stoop, and then she'd go off on her own because she'd get bored. And she doesn't like going into the snow when it's that high. She can't sniff from a certain level. If her head has to go up and she sniffs, then she's not going to go anywhere near the snow because it's too high. She'll get stuck. So she's been a little upset that she hasn't been able to run in the backyard, because she was able to do it before because we didn't have that much, and now all of a sudden we got buried, and there's not much space for her to run, but it is what it is. And so we shoveled, got the mail, and then the other day, Wednesday, we went out, did the same thing. And then yesterday, went out. This time I got bright though, smart, I should say. I took a couple of treats, I put like 3 treats and broke them in half. And every time I wanted to run somewhere, I'd say, "Do you want this?" And she'd go and she'd run, and then she'd come back, and then she'd sit on the stoop and wait for me. So I did quite a bit of walking. Not a lot, but a little bit. Anyway, and then we decided we had enough, and that was it. Today, she and I aren't going anywhere. Number one, I don't feel like it. I don't feel good. And number two, I'm not taking my dog out when it's only 15 degrees outside. My husband wants to take her for a walk later. Feel free, but I don't want to. So, and he's not feeling much better than I am. And I told him, I said, look, if I told him on Wednesday, I said, you're gonna make me sick, aren't you? And he goes, well, unfortunately, I think so. And I said, I know I married you and promised to take care of you in sickness and in health, but you don't need to share your germs with me. And he says, sorry. And I said, am I going to have to kick your butt? And he goes, yeah, probably. And I'm okay, fine. So yesterday after I got back from taking my daughter to get a haircut, my throat felt like I was swallowing razor blades. And I'm like, oh. So I went out, he was doing the dishes, and I kicked his butt. And he looks at me and I said, I told you I was going to do that. So, yeah. And then I was up early this morning, and I ended up having to read my book before I went back to bed, and, these were razor blades plus probably knives trying to swallow, and it hurt really bad, and I didn't like it. And then when I got up after that, it didn't hurt as bad, so I was like, okay, cool. I've taken some Tylenol, because that's about all I can do, so we'll see how it goes. Shower helped, definitely helped, so, but yeah, so that's it. There was one thing that I wanted to tell you about that I completely forgot, just like I have forgotten my Stitchy kindness or random acts of kindness for a couple weeks now. I've got to remember to bring those in next week. A couple weeks ago, I was looking at my Kindle, and I saw a book that said Beast of the Bayou. I do believe the author is C.M. North. It's not my normal type of book, but it was based in Renard, Louisiana. You know, anybody who knows anything about Louisiana, they're all, everything that is vampire or creepy or ghostish or anything like that is centered there. There's a couple series of the Motorcycle Club books, romance novels, that are centered in New Orleans or in Louisiana. So yeah, I was like, alright, try it out. See it. I don't like it, I can always return it. It's not like I'm buying the book. But it was amazing. It really was. It wasn't very long. It was a very short book. But it was amazing. And if you like, you know, kind of, it was about, you know, a lady that died, and evidently she was accidentally murdered. It was an accident, by her fiance back in like the 1700s. And there was a house that she died in, and she haunted it, and she cursed her ex-fiance because of what he did to her. So, but then again, she was not very nice to him, because she said she couldn't marry him, she couldn't be with him because she was going to be married to somebody else because he had money. And the guy that was in love with her didn't have money. He was a carpenter's son. And back in those days, that meant nothing. Basically slave labor, so to speak. So this was all wrapped around this house, and two ladies that came to visit the house, and one of them ended up getting kidnapped by the beast. And he actually took very good care of her. And they ended up breaking the curse, and moving to wherever they moved to. She tried to go back to her old job, which she did, but her friend, who she went nuts, I guess, I don't know, and she was harassing them, so they ended up moving somewhere else. But yeah, it was really odd, so to speak. But you know, like I said, if Louisiana usually gets that kind of rap for ghosts and curses and voodoo and all that kind of stuff. So it's called The Beast of the Bayou. It's by C.M. North. If you have a Kindle or any, I don't even know if you can find it on Goodreads, but you might be able to. But it's very good. So that's the end of my spiel for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Sounds like we're supposed to be getting a little snow this weekend. I don't know if we are or not. You know, it went from 50% down to 30, so I don't know. We'll see. And I hope everybody has a great stitchy week. If you plan on joining me for any of my little, like letter S kind of thing, or full coverage February, or Gnome Go, just get in touch with me. You can usually get in touch with me at all letter lowercase tammis.stitches on Instagram, or tammis.stitches group on Facebook, or comment down below. And I hope to see everybody next week. Maybe I'll get a few newbies, because I know I got a few new people, and I do appreciate that. If you happen to stumble on this accidentally, please like, please subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. I'd appreciate it. And if you are a regular who watch me week after week after week after week, I really appreciate it. I'm very thrilled with the amount of people that I have. I am very thrilled with the people who comment every week, and I can't be more thankful for everything that you do for me, by liking, by subscribing, or by commenting, by joining me. Yes, I am very, very grateful for all of you, and I'm very, very thankful for all of you. So, I hope everybody has, just stitch, stitch, stitch. Keep on stitching, y'all.